One of the coolest things about Adobe Firefly is that you can create art based on a reference image or an image that you draw or an image that you create in Photoshop. So we're going to do one that's super simple, and then from there you can build onto it to create your own ideas. But let's go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do first off is to open up Photoshop. I'm going to create a new file. And for this one, I'm just going to go to Photo and use default Photoshop size. So again, Photo, default Photoshop. I'm just going to click Create. Gives me sort of a landscape to work from. Then I'm going to use my brush, and I'm going to set the settings to black and white. So I'm just going to reset it to the very basics. And then I want to make my brush bigger. Not too big, but somewhere like 60 or 70 pixels is totally fine. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do some freehand, really bad drawing here, which is what happens when you draw with the mouse, but it doesn't matter for this particular project. And I'm going to go ahead and write the word French. It's coming. French. And fry. And what I'm doing is I'm going to give the structure, I'm basically building the structure for the image that I want to create. And so you can do this with a hand-drawn image on a piece of paper, or in this case, using Photoshop is great because you have strong contrast, black and white, and so it's evident about where that's going to map. So I'm going to go ahead, and once I have my words French fries drawn, I'm going to go to save a copy, and I'm going to change the format to JPEG, and I'm just going to call it French fry. Click save, click OK. All right, first step, done my drawing. That's going to set me up for the next thing that I'm going to work on, which is accessing Firefly. So in the assignment, I'll click on Firefly, and it's going to take me to this page. If it takes you to a different page, you want to do the generative AI or text to prompt. Sorry, not generative AI, text to prompt. So we're going to do is use this prompt to generate what we want. And in this case, we want French fries. If I can type, that would be good. Floating on a white background. So I want it to be separate. I want it to be its own image that I can work with. And so this is a good prompt to use, and just on a white background is super useful for that. So click generate. And it's going to give me French fries floating on a white background. So I've got a couple of different options here. I've got a goofy looking shadow under this one, this one. I think I'm going to go with that. Okay, so once I've generated an image that I think is kind of what I want to go for, I want to use this image as the style. Okay, and to do that really easily, I can click on this little pencil icon and choose use as style reference. And when I do, you can see that that instantly put it over here as the style for this image. Now I'm going to go to composition, and this is going to set the reference, the skeleton, it's going to basically make the structure of this design. So I'm going to upload my image that I just created, furfur.jpg, open it up, and if I want it to be a very strong, like map it as accurately as possible, I'm going to bring this strength all the way up. And then when I click generate, I have to move my face out of the way. There we go, generate. It's going to give me French fries, but oh, it's all cropped. What do I do? Oh, fortunately, if I come up here to the aspect ratio, I can change that. I'm going to go ahead and do more of a landscape orientation and click generate. And there we go. I've got French fries. I could come down here from this point and play around with some of these different effects. And I would if I was going to create another image. But for just the example, this is good enough. Okay. And to make your image a full resolution image, what you should do is choose the one that you want. I think I want the one with a little bit of shadow, not too much salt. I mean, there's a lot of salt and weird things happening in the background. I might play around with that. Let me just see on an empty white background and see if that generates something just a little bit different. So it cleans it up a little bit. Maybe. It might. It doesn't look like it did. So one way that I can affect that is by going all the way down in my effects and go to simple. That might have an effect on it. We'll see. Again, it's kind of, once you start getting familiar with it, there's a lot to play with. I think this is the one that I'm looking for right here. French fries. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful French fries. So I'm going to make it a full resolution image because I want the highest resolution possible if I'm working with a photo. And then I'll just download it. And my first one is done. So it is just that easy to take a drawing, and it can be a bad drawing done in Photoshop. I mean, you can't really draw very well with a mouse, right? But you can have some fun with it. So start there and then try other ideas. You can write words. You can actually draw the image in Photoshop and then map it to that. And in class, I'll be giving some more demonstrations on that. But this is your starting point. And now you have one of your 3 images generated, so you're good to go. Save it as a JPEG and get ready to turn it in next time we have a work in progress.